Hi friends, this is Granny Doll, and I thought I'd sit with you for a few minutes and share a different kind of video, maybe some different ideas with you. You might wonder what I'm spinning, what I'm thinking, how I'm doing, and some goals for the future. So hold on, let's see what comes next. Hi friends, it's Granny Doll, and I'm so glad that you decided to join me in our little chat. I'm going to take you on a bit of a voyage today if I can, and just talk about the wool industry here in Canada, what my thoughts are moving forward, and what I'm going to do. At some point during this video, Thor the Thundercat may decide to put in an appearance, or the bell may ring. Anything can happen, right? It's a Friday and the wind is howling. We're just home from a trip out in the rain. It stopped raining, thank goodness. It feels more like spring than winter, but I know winter's not done. So enough with the weather report, right? Like, let's just keep going. What am I spinning? Well, this is some of my hand-dyed local wool from Rampart Farm. And I dyed it with Wilton's gold. So think Olympic gold. We have a few gold medals. We have a few other medals. We're just so excited. Here in Canada, we support all sports and all the teams, the new ones, the old ones, those who come crashing down and those who are lifted up. It's just an amazing time. So it's a good color to work with today, and there's really no sunshine. So this is my own sunshine. So what am I going to do? Well, I was thinking about my sock yarns, and many of you already know that I hand dye sock yarn and offer it as part of I offer it for sale. I just don't know how else to say that. I market it. But then I got thinking about where it's coming from. And the research that I'm reading is coming up with the company that spins the bases that we use doesn't really disclose where all the wool comes from. So my own ideas are, because it's merino, it's beautiful yarn. Don't get me wrong. It's absolutely beautiful yarn, and I love knitting socks with it. But it's not Canadian wool. So it comes from afar, from away, as they say in Newfoundland, from New Zealand, Australia, shipped, Port of Vancouver, shipped to wherever it's going to go after that. So it's on the road a lot, and it does come from a long ways away. So when I purchase sock blanks to hand dye, I'm supporting that kind of industry. Well, I'm supporting the Canadian company that spins this wool to make the sock blanks, and that's a good thing, right? I'm supplying employment for them, and that company is in and around Toronto somewhere. It's within my 100-mile specs. But I thought, what if? Just what if? What if I tried making socks from 100% wool from local farms? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try an experiment. It's been years since I've spun and knit socks from 100% wool. I did at one point, many years ago, back in the early 2000s. And once I had access to nice sock yarn, I didn't do that anymore. So talking about sock yarns, this was something I had started and my husband frogged for me. It's a Patton's colorway, and I just wasn't happy with the way the pattern was coming up. I was doing mittens. So starting over with that. I have a lot of different sock yarns and different colorways that I'm working with right now. I'm working with a green, the Mermaid Sock by Summer Lee socks. I'm also doing her last year's leap year sock pattern, and I got the first of those done. And actually, I could show you that now. Before I cast on the second sock, which I really need to do today because, you know, when you finish a sock, you're supposed to cast on the second one. So there it is. Some of you may have already seen it on Instagram or Facebook, but there it is. The Leap Year Sock Pattern by Summer Lee. Really enjoyed the pattern. I didn't think I would because it's a lot of purl stitches and I don't enjoy purling a whole lot. But once I got that into my head, it was so easy and so nice to work with. So I have to cast on the cuff for that today. So I will do that. But I am spinning this yellow, which is local. And if I spin enough of it, I'll be able to do, say, the cuff of a sock. I don't have enough of this yellow to do very much. But to incorporate it into another sock. So what I'm looking at, and you can just see, that's the thickness. I'm trying to see if I can't maybe do it that way. And then you can see how thick that is. That's the single ply. I'll do a 2-ply or a 3-ply depending on what I want to do with it. I have the white that I like, the natural that we're still working on. I've got some natural brown from different farms around here, as well as a couple of other things, other colors. Let me just see if I left it out. No, I didn't. The pink cable mittens, I'm still working on those and hope to pick that up this weekend. And that's all local, or within 100 miles. Let me just put it that way, or 110 kilometers. It's all within that framework. So I'll finish the mittens. I've done mittens out of handspun, and I've done hats and scarves completely out of handspun. Some of those completely out of local fibers, which is good. And what I'd like to do once we get to a point where we can be outside, I have a rather large bag of raw mohair to be scoured, and I don't want to do that in the house. So I'm going to heat up the barbecue, put a great big pot on the barbecue, and clean it that way. And then what I'd like to do after that is blend some of that with this wonderful, it's a BFL blend, and it is so nice. It's so long. It probably doesn't even need the mohair, to be honest, but I could do some mohair so that if I wanted to, I'd have that extra strength in the heels and toes. Sorry, I got the hiccups. What the hey? Hold on. There, I hope the hiccups are kind of past a little bit, but I thought I would, I lost it here, let you know what I'm using as a reference for my wool socks. But first of all, my ideas are coming from a book by Anna Hunter called The True Cost of Wool. And I don't know. See, when I put this up here, it's going to come up backwards for you. Right? Yeah, it does. So The True Cost of Wool, I've got it on my Libby app, due in 8 days. I'm over halfway through it. And she's very, very good. Anna is a shepherdess. She has a mini mill. She's done a lot of the research and come up with a lot of the numbers. So I highly recommend this book. Highly recommend it. I'm in a chapter now where it's going to be talking about processing wool internationally, because that's 95% of the yarn we consume is imported from other places. That's a direct quote from her. And I totally believe that. It's really difficult when you go to the yarn store, your local shop, to find a truly Canadian yarn. I know that Briggs & Little in New Brunswick, the oldest continuous working mill in Canada, woolen mill, yarn mill producer. Their yarn is all Canadian sourced, and I've used it a lot for mittens, for socks, for hats, for I'm still working on a sweater with some of their yarn as well. Not 100 Mile though, right? So they ship it all across the country, and I was able to get it from True North Yarns in Barrie, and I ordered enough yarn that the shipping was free. But again, you know, that's shipping. It's shipping from New Brunswick to Barrie to Hamilton. I'm trying to cut that part out if I can. I can't get the colors. Let's just be real here. I can't get all the colors that the yarn producers can. The other one is in Prince Edward Island. The name of the mill and the shop doesn't come to me really quickly right now. But their yarn is all done there in their mill with their animals. I know that they've outsourced and brought in some alpaca, mohair, etc. I haven't tried any of their yarn, once again, because I don't want to pay for shipping. And generally speaking, you have to order quite a bit to get free shipping on things. But also, it's just so far away. So I am going to different fiber gatherings, if you will, fiber festivals. There's one in Hamilton coming up mid-March, and I should be able to get some fiber there. Not that I need any. Oh my gosh. Those of you who are spinners, knitters, crocheters, weavers, crafters of any kind, you know what that stash can look like, and it just grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. I have a lot of things I can spin here. I also once belonged to a fiber club where once a month or once every 3 months I'd get a package, and it would be sourced out of Toronto within that 100 mile, that 110 kilometer radius from me. Really good way to look at trying different fibers, which is kind of fun too, I think. One of the goals for this summer will be to pop into another fiber farm, which I can do. There's a farm outside of Bimbrook, Ontario. I believe they have alpaca and sheep, hoping to get there. There's another one outside of Guelph I'd like to go to, another farm. They have an open house day. So just to talk with the shepherds, the shepherdesses, who are raising the animals, taking care of them in all kinds of weather, and then offering the product afterwards for us hand spinners, etc. So that was one thing I wanted to talk to you about. So in future videos, you're going to hear me talking more and more about local to me fiber and spinning that fiber for socks. The second thing I wanted to talk about was my little outing today. So talk about not getting too close to home, but I went to Costco. Costco's not far from here, but it's always a trap. You've got to be really careful when you go in there. You've got a budget. This is what I'm getting. I can get some medication there cheaper than I can anywhere else. So that's where I went. One of the other things we did was we went to the Fora outdoor living shop. I was just reading the bag. It's a greenhouse. Absolutely love it. Great just to walk around, but they've also got lovely housewares gift area. They've got some fresh baking, some fresh produce, a cafe, and everything in the greenhouse. So at the end of this video, I'll show you the pictures of the flowers I got. But in the meantime, let me see if I can get this to focus in. Maybe if I took it out of the package. This is a note card, postcard, not really a postcard, but a note card. I was looking for a birthday card for my daughter. But I got this one for me because, you know, and it is just basically a blank card. But it is there. That's not too bad. You're getting a... And in fact, it is kind of muted. It's a print of a painting. Isn't that adorable? I really like that. So that's going into my journal today. I also got some specialty tea that's put together not far from here, a little tiny tea rest. So really, really fun things to do. And just a time to relax. We stopped at Bennett's Food Market, which I've mentioned to you before. I did a whole video of my tour there last fall. And if I can remember, I'll try to link that down below if you're interested. But they have the best bread. And it's an apple farm. So they offer little cups of hot cider for free and one donut for free until they run out. So I split the donut with my husband and we split the apple cider. And I got leeks and potatoes. So that'll be on the menu soon. And I got the flowers that I was looking for. So like I said, I'll show you those later. So that was the second thing I wanted to talk about. Yeah, the second thing I wanted to talk about. Now the third thing I want to talk about is Lent. Some of you may remember, and again, I'll try to link some of those videos below, that last year I worked on a 10-row blanket for Lent, and I got it the size of a pillow cushion. So this year I decided to try another one, and I've got it started. Let me just see if I can grab that in my bag. I have bags and bags of things everywhere, so I'm never really sure where things are. I don't know. Be patient with me. Here it is. So this is what I have so far. So on Ash Wednesday, the beginning of Lent, I did the red square. And then I attached the yellow and the brown. So this was Wednesday and Thursday. I think I did that. I did Wednesday, and that was Wednesday. I did this on Thursday up to there. So I haven't worked on it yet today, but I will. So that's coming along really, really nicely. So why this project? Well, knitting for me is somewhat meditative. I can sit and meditate. I can sit and pray and ponder and decide, who needs support today, who needs a phone call, that kind of thing. I'll light a candle. Our focus at the two churches will be Amazing Grace. I'm going to break down the hymn and some scriptures and go through Amazing Grace together. So as I work on this blanket, I'm going to be thinking about all the grace, all the gifts that I've received in my life, and all of the people that have been there for me, and all of you, because you're a gift. Just so many wonderful things. So that's kind of where my Lent is heading. We're just barely starting now. I have started a new ritual in the morning, in that I'm making a vanilla matcha latte for myself. I have some really nice, it's ceremonial grade matcha that I bought at a market last Saturday. So every morning, instead of my coffee, I'm having this matcha, and different mugs, of course, but again, this one, remembering our Indigenous women and children. Isn't that beautiful? And if you look inside, you can see some of the greens still in there. That was from earlier, and then I just added a bit more cream, and I'm continuing to dilute it and drink it, and it's nourishing for me right now. And so I'm cutting back on coffee. I'm not giving anything up. If I'm saying that I'm giving something up, I'll say I'm giving up time of self-indulgence with social media and online gaming to spend time on that prayerful blanket. So that may be what I'm giving up, is that self-indulgence. I have had some sweets, so I'm not really giving up sweets. There's no point for me, really. I'm diabetic, so I know what sweets I can have and what are not really good for me. So there's a balance, right? I'm thinking, friends, this video has gotten a little bit long, but I so appreciate you. Like, subscribe, and share if you can. If any of this struck a note with you, let me know. Do you want to hear more about my Canadian wool endeavor in spinning to knit socks? Let me know if you're interested in my Lenten journey and all about grace. Or are you really interested in what I'm going to do with the leeks and potatoes? There you go. I'm thinking Colcannon right now. My husband and I were talking about that on the way home from the store. Colcannon sounds good. I've got ribs to go in the oven. So there you go. Make it simple, right? Make it simple. Make it great. So for now, dear friends, this is Granny Doll saying, may your stitches come together as they should. May the lessons you learn be filled with grace. And may you be accepting of the grace that you receive these days. So for now, God bless. Till the next time. Have a good one. Bye for now.